Hello everyone and welcome back once again. My name is Colleen Hatch. I'm the Assistant Teen Services Librarian here at the Woodmere branch, and I am back to do another craft kit tutorial for you guys. This month we are doing a kind of Valentine's Day embroidered canvas. So in your kit you will receive this black canvas, and then it has the design taped on the back. This looks right side to you, but I promise it is flipped backwards for when you actually look at it. It's mirrored on the canvas. You'll get your choice of 2 bundles of embroidery floss. I picked these 2 shades of purple, but there's lots of colors to choose from. And then you'll get a needle threader, a embroidery needle, and this tool, which is actually a bead reamer, but it will be used to punch your holes in the canvas. And from home, you'll just need a pair of scissors. So, let me get us moved down and we will start this project and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, and here we are. Alright, so we've got our canvas here. So we went ahead and pre-taped these on because this tape is really nice for holding it down. If it doesn't look quite centered to you, I did do these in a hurry. Feel free to kind of lift it up and recenter it. This is going to be your guide for your embroidery. So take a look at it. If it looks nice and centered to you, go for it. I'm going to adjust mine just a little bit, I think. Not much, just a little. Maybe, if I can get it off. So basically what we're doing is we're using this as our pattern for our embroidery. Alright, so I want to center the letters, not the tape. So it will be a little lower on that side. Yeah. Make sure you make it nice and flat. Yeah, that looks good to me. Alright, so once you've got that where you want it, what we need to, I'm going to roll up my sleeves here. What we need to do is make the holes for our embroidery. So you can see on here, all of these X's are where we need to be, and you actually want to punch a hole on each, come on, focus, each corner of the X. So each X will have 4 corners that you need to punch in. So I'll do one just to show you, and you're punching through the paper and the canvas. So I'm going to start right here and just punch all the way through it. I'm going to do 1 square just to show you. Now be cautious and careful doing this because this is your pattern. If these aren't lined up, your embroidery isn't going to be lined up either. So you can, I don't know, it's hard to focus that. I've got that punched in 1, 2, 3, 4. All of the sides of that. So we're going to do a little more here. Now be careful punching through that you're not poking yourself. This isn't overly sharp, but it is a little pointy. It would not feel great if it, punched you punch through and stab yourself in the leg or whatever the case may be. So just be a little cautious. But we're just going through in every corner of an X. It's a hole. And you do that for the entire pattern. And I'll show you from the front here after I finish this row. You can see we're starting to get our pattern forming there. So, because this is a little time consuming, I'm going to go ahead and cut and punch all the holes, and then we will come back and move on to our next step. Alright, that took some time, but we're back. So you can't really tell from that side, but you can tell from the front that we have all of our holes punched. Make sure you're getting them all. It's really easy to miss them like around the corners, like up your R and V. So just make sure that you're really getting all 4 corners around every single X. And when you're good and you're sure, we're going to go ahead and take this off. And I would save this. To me, it's a really good template to make sure that we're keeping track of what we're doing. So I'm just going to kind of set that aside there. Alright, so there we are. You can kind of see what's going on there. And now we're going to start the sewing part. So take the color that you want for love, the top word there. I'm going to do this light purple. Now we're gonna do like, I don't know, 6 foot lengths or so of this. I just find that it's a little easier to manage. So I'm gonna do like a full arm's length here. It's a little easier to manage than if you do bigger strands because they tend to get a little tangled. So obviously we don't want that. So we're just gonna cut off a nice long string, but nothing too unmanageable. And then I'm going to tie a knot at the end. So just kind of like a regular loop. I usually twist it around a couple times just to really make sure we're getting a good one, like so. And then I tie another knot on top of that one, just a single one, just to really make sure we've got a good knot there. All right, and then we're gonna take our needle threader and our needle. So to use this, I guess it'd probably be easier this way. You take your threader and put it through the hoop of your needle, and then put the thread through that and pull it through. And we want just a little tail. We're not doubling this up. We're just enough that it's not going to slide out on you. So, all right, we're going to flip this over, and we're going to start with, oops, this is upside down. We're going to start with the L, and we're going to start on the back. So you want to start at the upper right-hand corner of this L to the back side and the very, very top hole, which is this one. And then we're going to pull this all the way through until we get our knot in there. Now, if you like, you can trim this down a little bit just so it's not getting in your way. All right. Oops, and I did not put that through the top corner. Look at me. Good start already. If that happens to you, go right back through the same hole in the opposite direction and just pull it out. Good skill to learn early on. All right, so let's do the actual first hole. It's kind of hard to see there. All right, so, whoops, we gotta go from this way. Guys will bear with me a little bit. I am not a sewer, but I still enjoyed this project, and I think it's a cool skill to learn. So, all right, there we go. Now we're in the actual top corner. All right, so what we're doing is we're gonna go diagonally on the front side to the next dot over, which would be that one. I don't know if you can see. So we're gonna pull that through, and it will do a stitch like that. On the back, oops, I'm gonna get that pulled all the way through. Get that pulled all the way through. All right, on the back, we're gonna go 1 dot straight up and pull that through. So there's the back side, just straight up. Make sure you're keeping a little extra there so you're not pulling your string up. And then we're gonna go straight across the row. So again, 1 diagonal and down. Like so. Flip it over and 1 straight up. Like so. And what we want to do is go all the way across this row like that. So I'll do a few more, and then I'll probably cut and just show you what the row looks like. Because again, this project is very fun, but it is also very time consuming. So I will be doing a lot of cuts and showing you a different finished project and not this one, because you don't want to sit and watch me do this for the next 4 hours. I know you guys like me, but I don't expect anybody to watch me sew for the next 4 hours. So, all right. There is the L. Now what I've been doing is I've been taking my template and ripping it and counting how many squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are good there. Now, when you go to the next one, again, you want to be in the upper left-hand corner of it, and you can just skip right straight across. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to untie or tie it off and start over. You can just carry it straight across, and it's no problem. So we're going to go to the upper left hand, and then diagonal down 1, and then the same thing, straight up 1, diagonal down 1, straight up 1, diagonal down 1, straight up 1, diagonal down 1. All right, and then if you want to double check our O, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the front, and there is the back. You can see where I carried. It's totally fine. It's on the back side. I can't see it at all. So I'm gonna go finish this top row, and then I'll show you how to go back the other direction. All right, we did it. Okay, so this is our first row here, front and back. We got a little knot in there. There we go. Fixed. All right. So when I was going across this first row, I did notice the V. I had to be careful because we've got 4 and 4 and then 8 on this. So this is where this comes in handy. There was a little spot to skip, but it's kind of hard to tell when you're not looking at this. So good idea to keep hold of that. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back the other way and finish our X's. So we finished this last diagonal stitch, and we're going to go up again like we normally would on the back. All right, and that puts us on the opposite corner of that, and then we're just going to go back and form our X's. So go back the other way and form an X. And then when we go up on the back, it's going to be overlapping the last up stitch that we did. So it's going to be the exact same one we did, just we're going to go right over top of it. So again, we're going to go diagonal to the left to finish that X up, straight up in the back over the old one, diagonal. Make sure you're not skipping stitches. That's something I did, oops, a lot the first time, and I just pulled my string out. Go me. It's all right. That's why we've got this. So we will just re-thread our needle. No big deal. It's also why I gave you one of these needle threaders, because again, I did this without it the first time and it was kind of a pain. So if you get too frayed on the end, trim it off a little bit, but with the needle threader, it's really not too bad. All right. All right, so straight up and diagonal down to finish the X. And we're just gonna go all the way across like that to form the whole row. And then we're gonna be doing this with every single row. Now, what we planned for, and how I did this, is I did one color for love and one color for more. You don't have to do it that way. You could switch every row. You could do whatever you'd like. It's not like it's a hard and fast rule. It's just how we did it. There should be plenty of string for it. I accounted for if you made a mistake and had to cut some. You should have plenty. So there's that. And last one in the E. And there should be 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is the first E. As you can see, they're not absolutely perfect. That's because my holes weren't punched precisely in a line. I'm sure the more I do this, the better I would probably get, but it is what it is. All right. Now when you go back to the next letter, you gotta find that missing hole that you didn't hit, so it can be a little hard to find it, but not too bad. Straight up, diagonal down. Make sure I'm not getting knots in my thread. Straight up, diagonal down. And you can see me kind of having to throw the string over the top. This is another reason why it's easier to work with short bits of string. When you get a lot, it's very difficult to do without getting knotted. Skip that space. Diagonal, straight up, diagonal, straight up, diagonal. Now, because we're using shorter bits of string, you are going to have to cut new ones and put them on when you run out. Same thing as how we started, just cut a length, tie a knot at the end, thread it through, and start. But just trust me when I say that it's much more worth it to do it that way than it is to try to use the full length of thread at a time, because it's a lot to keep track of, and can be a very much a pain in the butt. So, all right. Anyway, there is the first little bit there. I'm going to finish this row across, show you how to start the next one, and then that's really kind of the technique. Yeah, that was quicker than I thought, actually. All right, so there is the top row of that, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just go down to the next row. So we are already okay. So what I'm going to do is go straight down, and we're going to go the opposite direction in this row. So you see I'm in the bottom left corner of this one. I'm just going to go up. You may have to kind of work it. Sometimes I found that it ends up with enough stitches that I'm going the same direction. Sometimes I don't. But as long as you're doing one side of the X all in the same direction and then switching it, it's really not a big deal. So we're going to go up and to the right instead of down and to the right this time. And then straight down again. So what we're doing is we're just starting the opposite side of the diagonal as we did last time, but as long as we're doing one direction one time and another direction the other time, not that big of a deal. We're going to be going through those same holes a lot, so just try not to pull too hard on them, or you will make a little bit bigger hole on your canvas than you intended. So there is my L, and we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. All right. All right, and then we're going to start. Sometimes when I'm having trouble finding where I need to start, I kind of put my thumb approximately where I need to go, just to kind of guide me from the back, because it can be kind of hard to find your start point sometimes. Oops, I skipped a hole. Alright, now this is one of those instances where it would seem like you would start here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's actually the beginning of the next row. So you actually start, and this is a square instead of over here, because this is the next row's square. So kind of difficult to tell, and I definitely messed it up the first time I did it a couple times, but you get the hang of it, get the eye for it, and it becomes not quite so difficult. So, and then what we would do is we would just continue this all the way row by row until we finish that word, and then switch yarn color or thread colors and do it again. Or, switch it whenever you want to switch it. No real rules here, just more of a technique we're learning than a very, very specific tutorial. If you don't like this pattern, you could always search online and find a different one. I used a cross-stitch text generator and then just sized it to my canvas. So you could do something like that if you don't like this particular saying, or if you want to try to do this later on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 4. Okay. 5. I'm very excited about this because I think I could make some really cool wall hangings and canvases now that I know how to do it, with whatever I want and whatever colors I want. Alright, so that's kind of a start to the next row. So yeah, just row by row, go one direction diagonal, and then go back the other direction and work your way across and then down. And that is the technique for this. So let me go grab my completed one, just kind of show you where we're at, and I will be back with you. Alright, and some movie magic. This is the one I made before. You can tell that my tape slipped at the end, so it kind of went up a little bit at the end here. So make sure that your tape is really stuck down, otherwise if your holes shift, your text shifts. But I still think it's cute, still gets the point across. And then there's the back to kind of show you what it looks like. I still think it looks cool from the back, honestly. But yeah, that is the project, so definitely stop by. We've got lots of colors to choose from. Get a cool technique under your belt for making art in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to come pick up this craft kit, you can come pick it up in Teen Services at the Woodmere Library. And we will see you again next time. Have a good one.